Greetings. We're back for part 3 of how to get up from sitting or get down from sitting onto your back. So we'll begin in sitting, and let's talk about a little bit about sitting. Some of you may have a difficulty sitting with your legs out straight because of restriction in your lower back or your hips. And so in that case, you may want to find a pillow or a couple of yoga blocks or something to help support you if the floor doesn't work. Some of you will be quite comfortable with your knees this way to start, but we're going to start this way and just take it simple. So with some of your weight supported on your hands, just begin to bend the right knee and turn a little bit to the right. So you're drawing the heel up and the knee up on the floor, and that's going to turn you a little bit to the right. Very simple. Noticing that the movement is much more difficult to do if you don't allow yourself to turn, which means I'm reaching out through that side of my pelvis as my D bends, and that's what causes my spine to turn, right? So if you try it without that, it's more difficult. So take it on the other side, same thing. Try it first without any movement anywhere else. You'll notice that it's more work for your hip flexors, and that this way it's easier. There will be one side that's much easier for you to do this on than the other because of the biases that are created embryologically and in the birth process that predispose us to twist easier to one side than the other. Then the next step would be to bend the other knee. So this is also for people who have difficulty with the insides of your knees. You don't have to make an extreme movement here. So the first knee bends, the second knee bends, and you just bring your hand forward on the floor. And you don't need to do anything more than face forward. So let's do that a few times. The first knee, which is the knee you're going towards, the right knee, then the left knee, and then the twist around so both hands are somewhere on the floor. And then the other direction. One hand, the other hand. One hand, the other hand. One hand, the other hand. Now you can begin. I'm going to do just the front side so you can see, to reach the back arm a little bit further and take yourself around so that instead of being forward, you're actually starting to look almost to the wall that's above your head there, over there on the other side of the studio, but you're kind of more looking at the corner of the room. You come back and you go the other way. So some of you may find it easier just to stay folded through center, or you may develop the ability to just stay folded in center so that it's more of an easy transition. If that's not okay with you, then you can change it and do it one leg at a time. This is something that you're doing for yourself. So how you get out of bed, or how you lie down in bed, or how you lie down when you're on the floor, you want it to be comfortable. You'll notice that I'm actually moving forward on the floor as I do this. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So the next step would be to come around and take the back arm and place it on the floor in the direction that my head is now pointed, kind of in the direction of my nose. Come back, other side, or I can go through center. If I go through center with my knees bent, I start with one arm, I flip my knees over, I start with the second arm. So if I'm coming to face you, I'm turning to the right, it's right knee, right hand, left knee, left hand. If you're going through with straight legs, it's left knee. Actually, let me do it on this side. If you're coming through with straight legs, it's right leg bends, right hand, left knee bends, and flip over. Okay? So you're continuing with that. And the final step here, this is really fun to play with, is to bend your elbow and reach that bottom hand the hand in the direction that you're turning, left hand going to the left, and reach it out in front and then come back. So the hand is going to sweep over and reach towards the corner of the room or towards the wall above my head. My belly is stuffed. I've got a twist in my waist, so I'm taking my shoulders around. You could spend some time just doing this, just taking your shoulder around so my back hip comes up, right? Back hip comes up. I place my palm on the floor. Let's do it on the other side. Back hip comes up. I turn around myself, twist through my waist. And then I reach with the top arm a little bit further. So I get myself a little closer to the ground. I get myself a little closer to the ground. I'm lowering my weight on this elbow and sliding that hand out with my direction clear. Come over to the other side, reaching, spiraling left, right hand comes around, my left elbow bends slightly. So I'm coming closer to the floor. Almost there. Take some time with this and then get yourself down on your back. If you're going to do this lesson now because you just watched it, I would also recommend two things: that you begin by lying on your back and rolling your head right and left. And then begin the lesson, do the lesson, and then come back down and do this, because it's very possible that since what you've been doing for this whole lesson is developing a way to twist in your spine, that when you do come down onto your back, that you notice that the rolling of the head is much more inclusive of the rest of yourself. So that's part 3. I just would like to remind you that I do teach lessons on Zoom. So you can have live lessons. Whoops, let's use this side. Live lessons, or you can simply get recordings of lessons. Here's my website, so you can check me out. Thank you very much.